If you think you are old as hell, it really may help you land some brand deals. And I'm going to explain how you can do this without being an influencer, having thousands of followers. I'm kind of just like making a joke of this because it's kind of funny. But hopefully, this video does actually explain why your age is actually going to be a superpower of yours if you are, especially like a Gen Xer or a baby boomer. So this is called UGC. If you've never heard of it before, stands for user generated content. UGC creators are just a type of content creator, just like an influencer or a TikTok shop affiliate is a type of content creator. So but like with UGC, it's a little different than both of those. So UGC creators like myself, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I replaced my 6-figure full-time income back in 2023. October 31st of 2023 was my last day at my job, and I've never looked back since. It's been the biggest thing that's literally, it just changed my life. But 2.5 years later, I'm now doing this full-time, and it's been amazing. So with UGC creators get paid to create content for companies that the company then just takes that content and then they use it for their own purposes. So you have probably actually seen thousands of UGC creators before, but you just didn't really realize it. Maybe you thought they were influencers. So basically, like whenever you're scrolling on Instagram or even like Facebook, TikTok is a little different now because there's so many TikTok shop videos. It's kind of taken over, right? But like Instagram, if you're scrolling on Instagram stories or your feed and you see those random ads, right? Those sponsored videos that have random people in it, just a regular person talking about a product or a service, and they're just like saying what they like about it, how long they've been using it. That is most likely a UGC creator who hopefully got paid a good chunk of money to create that video for the company, and now they're running it as ads to promote their product or their service. If this is making sense, if this is making sense, type your current age in the comments. That would be so helpful for me to see, just so I know that I am on the right track explaining this. I have so many other videos explaining this, but if you're comfortable with it, put your current age in the comments so I can see who is watching. Okay, so how to get started with this, and actually, before I go into that, why your age is your superpower. So number one, your age, like if you're a Gen Xer, if you didn't know this, statistically speaking, Gen Xers are the wealthiest generation. You guys have the most money to spend on products and services. You have the largest purchasing power, okay? So that just means that if brands are advertising to like the Gen X era, right, that demographic, they are kind of banking on the fact that because most Gen Xers, according to the data, have money in the bank to spend on their products and services, they're kind of banking on the fact that if they do show you their product while you're scrolling on Instagram, you are likely going to have money in the bank to actually buy the product, as opposed to somebody who's like 22 years old, fresh out of college, right? And has not been working for years and years and years. So that's really where the large purchasing power comes into play. Like the biggest thing that brands love about Gen Xers and baby boomers. But again, Gen Xers are the wealthiest. So that's a huge one. And then also, you guys are also relatable, and you also tend to come across in your videos a little more authentic. So people tend to trust you more, especially people around your same age range. So that really is the two biggest reasons. Another thing is, like, I always like to tell people, imagine you as like, say, a 60-year-old and you're scrolling on Instagram. If you're a 60-year-old scrolling on Instagram and you see ads that have like 20-something-year-olds in them or even 30-something-year-olds in them, you're automatically going to think that product or service or whatever the heck they're talking about is not for you. And the company who's spending money advertising in front of you while you're scrolling on Instagram, they're losing money because you're not relating to a 20 or 30-something-year-old as a 60-something-year-old. So it only makes sense for them to hire people around your same age. 50-year-olds, 60-something-year-olds, even people into their 70s are doing UGC. So it only makes sense for them to hire people around your same demographic so that when you do scroll on Instagram or Facebook, you see ads of people around your same age range. You're automatically going to trust it more, think it's for you, and be more likely to click the link in that ad and purchase the product. Okay, so if this sounds at all interesting to you and you're like, did not know I could even do this, did not know my age was going to be like a positive factor, and you want to get started with this, you can follow me. I post videos like this all the time, encouraging people that think they're too old to do content creation to actually start and to treat your age like your superpower. So go ahead and follow me if you're not following me if you want to. But I also have a free resource that you can grab. There's been like over 50,000 people that have downloaded this free resource I made for anybody who's interested in UGC. It's a checklist. So it'll go through the steps on how to get started with UGC, like what is the first step, the second step, the third step, because there's like an order that you should do things from my personal experience. And then I also have a 15-minute video lesson going over how to pitch to these companies, because even though your age is going to be your superpower as a Gen Xer or a baby boomer, you also need to put yourself out there and like tell companies and reach out to companies and tell them that you are doing UGC now and that you want to create content for them. That's the only way to kind of actually get these UGC deals, if that makes sense. So if you go to my profile and click my Stan Store link, you'll be able to see, like I teach people, right? I have like 7,300 people that have purchased my Ultimate UGC course, which is a video course going step by step. There's dozens of lessons in there teaching you everything you need to know. But if you do not want a course yet and you just want to dip your toes into UGC, that is always why I tell people to start with my free checklist. Even if you never see my face again, go get my free UGC checklist, because it'll really, truly help you get started on the path to understanding more about UGC and then actually setting yourself up so that you can get free products and get paid to create short videos for companies by doing UGC. So go grab my checklist. If you want it, it is yours. Okay, so also, I should mention that my mom is 63. I talk about my mom a lot. She probably doesn't even know how often I talk about her here on TikTok. But my mom and I have done 3 UGC deals together. I mentioned she's in her 60s. So I'm in my 30s. She's in her 60s. She is also now doing UGC. We've done 3 UGC deals together, and then she's also doing her own UGC deals. My sister's also doing UGC too. So I'm like literally trying to convince everybody to do it because it changed my life. But all that to say, my mom has 0 experience in content creation, like 0%. She's been a nurse for over 40 years, raised 5 kids. I have 4 siblings. And she always told us kids, like growing up, that she was not very creative. And it's been really, really cool to see, like after she started UGC and she went through my course and learned everything, she realized truly how creative she actually is. And it took starting something like UGC to figure that out after all these years. And it's been really, really cool to see her literally learn from ground zero how to take a product and how to take her iPhone and film it and then edit it and even write scripts and communicate with companies. It's just been really, really cool. So I hopefully that, like I share that. The reason I share that is because I think it encourages people who, like, if you're thinking right now, I'm old, so maybe that's my advantage, but also it's a disadvantage because I don't feel tech savvy enough to do this. I don't feel creative enough to do this. I wouldn't know where to start. I just hope that encourages you, like hearing about my mom, that you can do this. Like if you're a boomer like my mom, like you guys have done way harder things in your life than start something like UGC. Will it be a learning curve? Of course. My mom's first UGC video that she ever did was not super amazing, right? But the second one was so much better, and the third one was even way better than that. So you get better and better as you go. And I feel like a lot of people, when starting something like content creation who've never done it before, they tend to forget that's how most things work in life, right? Like you don't start out your brand new jobs that you've done in the past the first day, like you typically look like an idiot, right? Like because you don't know what you're doing. So it could be the same with UGC. Learning curve, there's obviously a learning curve. You can learn. That's the whole point, is you can learn how to do this, even if it's a completely new thing for you. I would obviously love to be the one to teach you step by step how to do this, and just like walk you through everything super visually. But even if you don't learn from me, learn from somebody else. Go do your own research. YouTube it, Google it, whatever you need to do. If this sounds at all interesting to you and you're like kind of have that like spark, like holy crap, I could start a whole new chapter in my life doing something like content creation, which you previously thought were for just like Gen Zers or millennials, they want to be influencers. It's just not the case. And I have thousands of students who are crushing it. And most of my students are Gen Xers and Boomers, which has been so fun. So I hope this helps. I hope it enlightens you and opens up your eyes to what you could possibly be doing. And I really hope you grab the free checklist because it will help you get started.